Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. So we're on Hadith number 54. I won't ask anybody to read the Hadith because some people don't like to memorize, huh? So Hadith 54 is practice what you preach. Practice what you preach. Because obviously this is one of the things that is despised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya ayyuhalladhina aminu, lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Kabura maqtan 'inda Allahi an taqulu ma la taf'alun. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, oh you believers, why do you talk and say that you're doing things that you don't do? This is a very despicable act, in the sight of Allah, that you say things that you don't do. And we talked about a word for this in the Arabic language, which is what? What did Imam Shafi'i say? He said, "Dunya what? At-tasannu' wa tara'i." At-tasannu' is where the people sit there and try to act about things that they don't have and they don't do, and at-tara'i, that they just show off to people. All right, so the hadith and Abi Zayd, Usama ibn Zayd ibn Haritha, radiyallahu anhuma, قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول يؤتى برجل يوم القيامة فيلقى في النار فتندلق أقتاب بطنه فيدور بها كما يدور الحمار في الرحى فيجتمع إليه أهل النار فيقولون يا فلان ما لك ألم تكن تأمر بالمعروف وتنهى عن المنكر فيقول بلى كنت آمر بالمعروف ولا آتي وأنهى عن المنكر وآتي متفق عليه. So here Usama ibn Zayd, he reported that he heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say that a man will be brought on the day of judgment فَيُلْقَى فِي النَّارِ, and he'll be thrown into the hellfire. فَتَنْدَلِقُ أَقْتَابُ بَطْنِهِ, so like the aqtab is his intestines, they'll be spilling out of his stomach. فَيَدُورُ بِهَا, and he's going to be going around it what? He's going to be going around all the stuff that's spilling out, like مثل كما يدور الحمار في الرحى. Now what they do, because a lot of the people in the West, they won't know this type of thing, but in the old days when they used to grind things, they had the grinders. So they have like a stone in the middle, and that stone is attached to a piece of wood, like a strong piece of wood. And that piece of wood is on a camel or a donkey. So in Yemen, they used to use the camels, but other places they use donkeys. I'm not sure if I ever saw it with a donkey. I've seen it with camels, but not with donkeys. Because the camels are easy, you just blindfold them. So basically, like they strap that piece of wood to that animal, to the camel or to the donkey, and it just walks around in circles. And as it's walking around in circles, it's grinding. That stone is grinding whatever it is. So in Yemen, they use this raha. This is called a raha in the Arabic language. They use this for like making like a zayt simsim, like a sesame seed oil, all the different oils. So they'll put the sesame seeds in there, and then the camel, they'll put the blindfold on the camel, because if the blindfold is on the camel, they just keep walking in a circle. He'll keep walking in a circle. He doesn't know where he's going as long as he's blindfolded. He won't do it if he's not blindfolded for some reason. And so that's what he does. He just keeps walking around, going in circles. He'll do this for hours and hours and hours until they grind it up, everything that they had to grind up. So this is what he's talking about. Like he just keeps going around the grinder thing, because this is the way they used to do things in the old. And they still do this. Like I said, in Yemen, they still do this even nowadays. Even though they have the machines for this, but because a lot of times there's no electricity, and also this is just a classic way of doing it, and the oil comes out with a better taste than with the machines, because the machines, they heat up a lot, and it kills a lot of the benefit of the oil. So, but with the raha, it's a cold stone, so it doesn't get heated up, so the oil comes out with a better taste and more benefit. All right, so that's what he's talking about. كما يدور الحمار في الرحى فيجتمع إليه أهل النار. So the people of the hellfire, they're going to gather around him. فيقولون, and they're going to say to him, يا فلان, oh person, Malik, what's with you? أَلَمْ تَكُوا تَعْمُرُوا بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Did you not used to command the good? وَتَنْهَى عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. And you used to forbid the evil? فَيَقُولُ بَلَى. Of course, yes, nay, I used to do this. He said, كُنْتُ آمُرُ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. He said, I used to command the people to do good, وَلَا آتِي. But I didn't used to do it myself. وَأَنْهَى عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَآتِي. And I used to prohibit the sinful behavior from the people, but then I used to go and do it. This right here, no doubt, is a hadith that all of us, anybody that is trying to call the people to the Quran and the Sunnah, this is our hadith right here. And this hadith should be at the forefront of our minds all the time, because again, you cannot fix people if you what? You haven't fixed yourself first, And you might have fixed yourself, like let's say you fixed yourself 50%, but you still got 50% to work on. You would still benefit the people, but you're not going to have that type of benefit until you truly, 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 truly fix yourself and get away from all the stuff, because you have to get up and you're going to see behavior amongst the people. And if you see behavior amongst the people, even if you do it, you cannot remain silent. You can't say, and this is what a lot of people fall into, because they say, well, how can I tell the people not to do something when I do it myself, right? Yeah, okay, this is a trick of shaitan. It doesn't matter. If you have knowledge, your job is to warn the people against evil that they're falling into. If you fall into that same evil, that's between you. You got to fix that in yourself. But that doesn't mean that you remain silent when you see that evil. You see that evil? No, you don't stay silent. So let's just say, like, for example, I don't know, an imam took out a loan because he wanted to buy a house. But he knows it's haram. He's 100%, he doesn't think it's halal. He's not justifying it. But now he notices now that a lot of the people, and he didn't tell anybody. He just took out a loan. He wanted to buy a house. He kept it silent, and he knows it's haram. And he knows what he did is wrong. But he's like, well, what can I do? I can't get a house if I don't take out a loan, blah, blah, blah. I know it's haram. I know, all the crybaby stuff, right? But now he sees a lot of the people doing it. Now, because he took out a loan, does that mean that he stays quiet now when he sees all these other people taking out these interest loans? No, he has to speak out, and he has to tell the people this is haram. And if this comes back on him, it comes back on him. So what? But you can't stay silent with this type of stuff. It's your job to forbid the evil, to warn against the evil, regardless. You can't stay quiet, because if you stay quiet, the evil that will spread is worse than you telling the people that this is haram and you doing it. Because the people might look at you and say, hey, you're doing it. You tell them, like, what? I am not the example. You know what I'm saying? You're following the prophet. You're not following me anyways. I'm telling you that this is haram. Whether or not I do it or don't do it, that's not your business. You following the prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he made it haram, so you follow him and you stay away from it. But you fell into it. You follow the prophet. You're not supposed to follow me. You're not supposed to follow these imams or follow what they're doing. So this is, this is a sad thing, but this is what people fall into, because they're falling into the haram, so they stay quiet when other people are. No, it's haram is haram. If you go home and you're smoking weed and you see other Muslims smoking weed, well, you stay quiet. No, especially if you know it's haram, but you know that you're falling into something haram, you go out and you speak about it. You let the people know that this is haram. You listen to music, and you know it's haram, and you see other Muslims, like Muslim kids, listening to music, and you know the influence that this music is going to have on these kids, and the type of criminal behavior that it starts. And criminal behavior, I'm not just talking about, this like the gangster type music. I mean criminal behavior, because committing fornication is a crime. It's a criminal. A person who fornicates is a criminal. A person who obviously commits crimes and killings, and that's a criminal. A person that commits shirk, it's a criminal. Exactly. So when I say criminal behavior, I don't mean just criminal like going up to somebody and robbing them. So now you see the youth listening to this music. Now you listen, but you know it's wrong, and you know the influence that's going to have on them. So you stay quiet because you listen to it. You warn against it. But you need to still focus on yourself and try to fix yourself, because this punishment is not a light punishment. That shows you the seriousness of this punishment for the person who, tells the people they shouldn't do this, but then he does it, and tells the people that they should do this, but he doesn't do it. So Allah musta'an, Allah yahmina, Allah yahmina min anfusina, wa ilana, subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.